Your 5.6 notes go over the inverse of a matrix. Now, we're going to work with a square matrix within this section, which means you just have 4 terms within the matrix, so a 2 by 2. When you designate that your inverse is happening, you're going to be writing this a to the power of -1, which is also read as a inverse. So, first thing we're going to do is show that a and b are inverses of one another. By doing this, you are going to multiply them. When you multiply them, you should get a product that is 1, 0, 0, 1. If you don't, and you get something totally different, then they are not inverses of one another. So we're going to first find a times b. So we're going to do the -1, 2, -1, 1 times 1, -2, 1, -1. We're going to go first row, first column. So that means first row, first column. -1 times 1 is -1. 2 times 1 is 2. When we add those, we get 1. Then we go first row, second column. -1 times -2 is 2. 2 times -1 is -2. That's 0. Then second row, first column. -1 times 1 is -1. And 1 times 1 is 1. You combine those, that gives you 0. Then you have second row, second column. -1 times -2 is +2. And 1 times -1 is -1, giving you 1. So your product is giving you the matrix 1, 0, 0, 1. So this gives you what you are looking for. You still have to find b times a, though. So we're going to do that 1, -2, 1, -1 times -1, 2, -1, 1. So we're going to go first row, first column. -1 times 1 is -1. -2 times -1 is +2. That gives us 1. First row, second column. 1 times 2 is 2. -2 times 1 is -2. That gives you 0. Second row, first column. 1 times -1 is -1. -1 times 1 is 1. That simplifies to be 0. Second row, second column. 1 times 2 is 2. -1 times 1 is -1. That gives you 1. So then this gives you the matrix 1, 0, 0, 1. When we do b times a and we do a times b, they both give us the solution or the product of 1, 0, 0, 1. So these two are inverses. The next part of our notes goes over finding the inverse of a square matrix or a 2 by 2 matrix. When you look at these 2 by 2 matrices, you are going to have the terms A, B, C, D. The first thing that you can do is find A times D minus B times C. So you're literally cross multiplying and subtracting. From there, you're going to take the reciprocal of that and multiply it by switching your A and D terms and negating your B and C terms, which means you're changing the signs on B and C. Once you multiply that, you have your inverse. So if we look at an example, for example A, we're given 3, -1, -2, 2. So this is our A, B, C, and D. We're first going to find A times D minus B times C. So that's going to be 3 times 2 minus -1 times -2. 3 times 2 is 6. -1 times -2 is +2. 6 minus 2 is 4. We're going to take the reciprocal of that, which is 1 over 4, and we're going to multiply it by switching our 3 and 2, changing the signs on our -1 and our -2. So this is going to give us 2, 1, 2, 3. So we just multiply that 1/4 in, so we're going to have 1/4 times 2, which is 2/4, that's 1/2. 1/4 times 1 is 1/4. 1/4 times 2 is 2/4, so that's 1/2. 1/4 times 3 is 3/4. So our inverse A, or A inverse, is exactly that. For B, we're given the matrix 3, -1, -6, 2. So we're going to first find A times D minus B times C. So this is going to give us 3 times 2 minus -1 times -6. Your 3 times 2 is 6. -1 times -6 is +6. 6 minus 6 is 0. When we take the reciprocal of 0, it's going to be 1/0. Anytime you have 0 in the denominator, it's undefined. So that means that there is no inverse. For example C, we have 1, 4, -1, -3. So our A, B, C, and D are there. We're going to find A times D minus B times C. Oops. This is going to give us 1 times -3 minus 4 times -1. 1 times -3 is -4. 4 times -1 is -4. This becomes 3 minus -4, so that's 3 plus 4, which is 1. The reciprocal of 1 is 1/1. We're going to multiply that by switching your 1 and -3, negating your -1 and your 4. So it's going to be -3, -4, 1, 1. 1/1 is just 1. So your A inverse is equal to -3, -4, 1, 1.